The 315, today we're talking about some standouts, or not some standouts, preview of game one of the Eastern Conference final tonight between Florida and Carolina. And we're seeing a fresh Florida team. I would say it's better to come off a game seven win and then be able to transition right into the series right away. I feel like it's easier to adapt that way. And I feel like sometimes the rest it can be helpful, but I feel like sometimes the teams just want to get back in the swing of things right away. And I think with Florida, they have a little bit of advantage in that sense because they can adapt right away. And it's only 2 days ago since game seven against the Leafs. So now that they're able to transition over to game one, it's going to be a really interesting series. I'm really curious to see how both teams play. The last two Eastern Conference finals that Carolina have been in, they've actually both been swept. So I would expect at least one or two wins from Carolina this time. I think they're a really good team. Obviously, they have a lot of weapons throughout their lineup. I think that's really important. And just in talking about Carolina, they have depth too. They have guys who can check really well. They can get on you quickly. They're physical. They're tenacious. They're good and disciplined with their checking and their forecheck. And they play a hard, intense game at their best, and they play their best hockey at home. So obviously, this is going to start in Carolina tonight, and I think the home ice advantage is going to be crucial for Carolina right out of the gate. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them come out with some extra juice, given that they're in the Eastern Conference Finals again, and they have a chance to go really far. They have a chance to make it really far, and one of the four teams left. So it's going to be interesting to see how the series plays out. I think both sides, they're going to need scoring from their best players, and you're going to have to rely on your best players to be your best players in the last two series now because we're down to four teams left. And of those four teams, anybody can win. Really, anybody can win. Dallas can win, Edmonton can win, Florida can win, and Carolina can win too. I would say of those four teams, Carolina has the least likelihood of winning, but they still have a shot. They still have a legitimate chance of winning the cup. I still think they do. And it's more a matter of how they're able to execute right out of the gate, like I mentioned, and how they're able to use their forecheck, use their physical play, be tenacious on pucks and stuff like that. For Florida, I think it's important for them to use their skill right out of the gate and have their top guys going. And those first two games of the last round, they were kind of quiet against Toronto, and they obviously ramped it up throughout the series. And Barkov looked excellent in Game Seven. Reinhart looked excellent. All those guys, Kachuk looked way better throughout the back half of the series, and so on and so forth. Just a lot of their guys were top guys, and even Seth Jones was in that mix too. I think heading into the series, there's going to be a lot of reliability from your defense too, because you're going to have to rely on your defense to be able to step up at the line and be able to negate checks and negate pucks there and be able to check when needed and be efficient with your stick too, because Carolina is really speedy and they have a lot of speed coming down the wing. So as your defenseman, being able to be reliable, know when to get up, know when to get back, know when to recover, stuff like that, it's going to be very important for them out of the gate too. Like I said, I think Carolina is going to have the edge in terms of not only the home ice, but right out of the gate. I think the first 5 minutes they have the ability to control the game, and I'd be really curious to see how it goes from there. But that's how Carolina usually plays. They play hard right out of the gate. They play hard right from the first puck drop, and then they go at you, and they keep going at you. They come at you in waves. So I'd be curious to see how this series goes. I still think Florida's going to end up coming out on top. But Carolina, they definitely have a chance. I'm not counting them out, but I just think Florida is going to come out on top and advance to the Stanley Cup final coming out of this series.